In the last video, I put the new controller in the Monster and then took it out for a test drive. The video is kind of long, so I didn't show the complications that were involved in that. As you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff blocking, so I had to move stuff around to get it out, and the garage door panel's hanging down. Monster wouldn't go underneath it, so I had to untie the ropes, let them hang freely, and lift each individual one over top of the Monster's roll bar in order to just get it out of the garage. First test, turning all the lights on, trying different combinations and everything, trying to see if an error code was going to come up. And everything seemed fine, so I went up the road a little bit, and you see me looking down at the right front tire. Yeah, it's wobbling pretty good. The bearings are worn out on it. I gotta change those. So everything was looking good. Came back home, and everything that needed to be with the Monster that I transferred over to the ES950, I transfer back again, and then I'm going to go out and do an actual test. Although everything seemed to be working fine, it didn't take long to notice the speedometer. It's still going berserk. It's not as bad as it was, but it's not staying at a constant speed. It's still flipping all over the place. As the issue has happened before, as it was pretty wild. It'd be like 27 kilometers per hour, and it would drop down to 9, and up to 50 something, and down to 20, and up to 40. It was all over the place. So it's still doing that. So changing the controller didn't fix that particular problem. And the other thing I noticed, it's a little bit slower. I'm doing maximum 18 kilometers per hour when the speedometer is actually working properly. It does have periods where it works actually fine. So it is a little bit slower. I have no way of programming this controller, so I was hoping it would be at least similar to what I had. So it's a bit slower, that's fine, I don't mind that. 18 still nice and fast for a mobility scooter. But the problem I do have with it is reverse is very slow and very powerless. So, not a huge deal, but when I back into the garage, I'm going uphill. There's actually quite a incline to get onto my driveway from the neighbors, and I need power to get up that. And if I get stuck in the snow, I need to be able to back up. I need the power to back up through the snow. So that in itself is going to be an issue. Other than that, it seems to be working fine. Until the next day. And all the problems came back. I turn the lights on, the Monster goes into error mode. Plug the charger in, the charger goes into error mode, it won't charge. So apparently the problem still exists, which means the controller was not the problem. So, back to diagnosing. What the heck is wrong? So I'm going through all the problems I'm having, and considering the speedometer still flipping all over the place, I am now thinking the display panel is where the issue is, because all the controls go to the controller through it. So that is the next thing I'm looking at. So I called up the dealer. He seemed to agree. So I now have a new display panel on order that I have to wait even longer for. So will this be the right thing? We'll find out. So for the moment, I put the monster back in the garage, or back into the back of the garage. Put the ES950 back out front, and I'm back to using it again. So I figured, well, the monster's going to be down for a while. It might be a good time to change those front wheel bearings again. Now, it's not just the wheel bearings themselves that need to be changed. I've shown in a previous video the vertical shaft where it swivels when you turn the wheels left and right. The bearings are kind of worn out in those too. I want to change those, but I'm not sure how. So I've already shown wheel bearing changes in previous videos, so I'm not going to go through the details, but I will kind of point some things out that I'm trying that are new, because the other ones, the inner bearing was fine, the outer bearing was the ones that were falling apart and really difficult to get the outer raceway out. And I got an illustration here. I will try to show you what the problem is in trying to get these things out. I know I've shown this before, but those of you who may not remember, because it was a little while ago, or anybody who's new hasn't seen it, this is a side view of the hub. The bearings are inside it, and the center of it's bored out, and the ends of it are bored out to the diameter of the bearings, and these are the bearings that fit inside the hub. And the problem is, when the front one breaks, or the outer one breaks, it just leaves the raceway, which is what you see here. And the problem is, there's nothing to grab onto to pull them out, and if I try to force them out from behind, I can't get in behind it, because the raceway is pretty much completely flush with the diameter of the steel itself. There's no way of getting behind it to force it out. So what they should have done, but of course, this is the monster we're talking about, should have and did or do completely different things. They should have bored it out a little bit wider so we can actually get something in behind the raceway to force it out. So that's the way it should be. That's not the way it is. So I'm left with trying to figure out how to get these stupid things out. So last time I took it to Canadian Tire, one of the guys in the shop took his torch to it and managed to get it out for me. I can't remember, I think it was like $18 it cost me. So I don't have the option this time. I got to do this myself, and apparently I have time to do it because I have to wait for parts for the monster again. And even though I'm working in the cold, it's something I got to get done. So this is what I start with. This is the second time trying to change these bearings. Just like the first time, I can't get the stupid thing out. Unlike last time, both bearings are broken this time, so I have 2 raceways to get out, one on each side. And for today, I'm giving up in frustration, pounding on it, trying to scratch something into the surface of it to help push it out. But it's just, the steel's too hard. I can't figure anything out. So I'm going to continue this video, and part 2, you're going to see the issue I'm having with the other set of bearings, the vertical ones. I can't figure those out at all. I don't even know how to take it apart. As for the left wheel, the bearings on it are still good. Like I say, this is the second time changing the bearings in the right wheel. The left one, they've been good since day one. There is a little bit of play in them, but they don't really need to be changed. So considering the problems I'm having with this, I'm not going to deal with that side too. So for today, I'm giving up on it. I'm exhausted. My fingers are hurting because they're cold, and I'm holding steel and doing some pounding and that. Plus I'm running out of daylight. So that's it for this one, and I will continue with part 2 in the next video.